You're busy. Let cleaning be quick and easy. Lysol disinfecting wipes kill 99.9% of viruses and bacteria when used as directed, keeping your space cleaner and fresher. From kitchen counters to your home office to your favorite gadgets and devices, Lysol wipes clean and disinfect the high-touch surfaces we use every day. Plus, they're 3 times stronger than paper towels. Get them at Target and keep your place protected from germs.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Pastimes Podcast. Each week we go through an old newspaper from a random date in history picked out by Dave Anthony. I'm Gareth Reynolds, and I've never seen it before, and neither is our guest this week,
Brooks Wheelan. Hi, Brooks.
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I am stoked to do this, genuinely.
You're happy?
I like the idea. I think it's fun, and I like you two in very different ways. But both equally, I think you're great.
See, the way you say that makes me feel like you haven't listened and you're doing network speak where you're being very delicate.
No, I'm thinking about
your pass.
No,
okay,
no, I'm thinking
right.
about Dave. I'm thinking about Dave and Gareth, and like how I like you.
It just already feels like you're doing. But go ahead. I just want to see where it's going. It just already.
You are two guys that you. At no point do you need both of you. At different points, you need one of you. That's what I mean. Like you do different things for a friend, for a guy, in a conversation. Like if I'm going to the beach, hey Gareth, you want to come make me laugh? If I'm like head in my hands, like I think I gotta like move back to Iowa, I'm calling Dave. You know, it's just
You're not
different
wrong.
types of friends.
You're not wrong. When I had a stalker, the amount of times I talked to Dave, and Dave would be like, "Buddy," and I would be like, I would just be like pulled over on Highland with my hazards on, like, "You're right. You're absolutely right."
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. I would reach out to Dave if I was like, I think I'm being dumb, and I'd reach out to Gareth if I was like, yo, I want to go be dumb.
Let's be dumb. It's my whole career. Well, we thank you for joining us. You're at Brooks Wheelan on Instagram, Wheelan with an A-N at the end, and you have a special coming out soon. You're a little unsure of the specifics, but if people follow you, they can find out about all that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Have you recorded it?
Yeah, I shot it in Alaska last year. I did.
Great.
10 cities in Alaska and shot them all.
See, that's what we were saying right before this. Like, you are a big nature guy. You spend a lot of time in places where everybody should go. You're doing that well.
Yeah, I try to go to where there's the least few amount of people furious with me. And that's usually in the woods.
Smart. That's smart. No, I think that's definitely the right way to do a tour. That's a good way to look at touring. I try to go where the least amount of people hate me.
And that's how I find out who you're dating at the moment.
No, that's a problem. Yeah, I got to fix it.
Well, we thank you for coming, and you know this podcast. You said off air this is one of your favorite shows. We're going to go through
each week when it drops. I do email you both individually to tell you what I would have done better that week.
That's right.
You're very good with notes and heavy with notes.
Heavy.
Yes.
80 to 90s a lot.
Yeah. A lot of it is also the subject matter. Step it the fuck up is getting old. I'll be honest, the subject headline. But Brooks, so we're going to, go ahead.
Well, to be fair, it's only because I reply all. In my initial email was step it the fuck up. So now we are on, episode.
No, it's true. You're not hitting compose a lot.
No, I just reply all, and it's like I'm screaming into the wind because you guys
very much so. But no, again, because some of them are pretty aggressive. But anyway, this took a turn, obviously, and I think we all had our hands on the wheel. That's why you're wheeling. So, Brooks, we will guess what year this paper is from that Dave has. Okay. I'm sure it's going to be old. The guarantee is it's not going to be from this year.
Can I say one thing that you just made me think of, and then we'll go.
Yeah.
My last name is Wheelan, and but my first name is Brooks, so it's such a clear, like nobody calls me Wheelan. You know what I mean? Because Brooks is already a last name. Yeah. And it was really hard to be slow with the name Wheelan. Like as a kid growing up, like I was not fast. So like people wanted to call me Wheels and they couldn't.
man.
They were like,
oh man,
it's
but
right
they could have
there.
done it. They could have done it ironically.
Yeah,
But it wasn't
great
that
either.
slow. But it wasn't like slow
You were
in
just
a
nothing
depressing
special.
way.
Right.
Nothing
Right.
special.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It is. That is hard.
Yeah.
But now comedically, you're kind of wheeling. I'm trying.
Yeah, we let him
I'm
do.
trying.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Keep going.
My-
Pod. Sorry,
My son has a kid on his baseball team, and he's crazy slow because he doesn't run on the balls of his feet. He lands on his heels and then goes flat down.
What?
And so he went to a like
Did he
speed.
hurt the front of his feet?
No, there's just some kids that run like that. And they never. And so he went to last month. He went to like an expert, and he's like, "I figured it out, man. I got to get on the balls of my feet and blah blah blah." And then he shows for the next game. And is running exactly the same. Like nothing has changed.
The idea that he had to go to a specialist is also amazing. This is like, we've all been laughing at you. Like, this guy's amazing. Apparently, he wants me to go front of foot first, which I guess that's why you go to this guy. He's the best.
Dude, truly not fucking joking. I had no idea I was bad at baseball until the first year my dad stopped coaching me. No idea. Genuinely thought I was really good at baseball until seventh grade when my dad wasn't my coach. And I went to practice. And I was like, my name's Brooks. I bat third and I play first. And my coach was like, absolutely not. No.
That is, by the way, that is the intro of someone with Wheelan as the last name. That's my deal. They're like, we're going to weigh in heavily on that opener, by the way, Brooks.
Dude, also, this is another thing that is so insane that I've buried that I just now remembered. So in my small town in Iowa, they would draft teams. Like that's how small my town was. The dads would draft their baseball teams. It wasn't random. So it would be like 8 dads, and they would draft who their 5th grade team was. I got a peek at where I was drafted one time.
Oh shit!
It was shocking. Absolutely last in town.
How did you get a peek at that?
I just it was like a piece of paper in the dugout that I was like, I don't think I should have this. Last in the town.
I love the coaches like.
I blame my dad. I was like, they just don't want to deal with my dad. It's definitely my dad. It's not me.
Wow. Fuck. Leaving that in the dugout is also a phenomenal move. But hey, don't read that. That's the order of good to bad. That should be here.
Also thought I was good.
Yeah, it's tough. Well, no, we know from the intro. My name is Brooks. I bat third. I play first. Brooks, you were drafted last in the city. All right, so we're gonna guess what year this paper is from that Dave's picked out. It's gonna be old. Brooks, as our guest, you're more than welcome to go first to guess. I partially let the guest guess first now because Dave tries to make it so that I'm wrong, even if I'm right. But go ahead and guess. This is going to be an old paper.
Okay. Before he even goes, here we go. 1951.
It's a good guess. Last one, 1879, 1951. One of those is coming.
Okay.
I'm going to guess. I'll guess 1999.
You told me it was going to be old.
Brooks wins.
Don't
It's
do this.
1887.
I mean, come on.
1887?
Yeah,
What are we doing?
old. See, I knew you loved this show.
Can I give you guys I do have a note for you.
Save it for the email.
I do have a note.
What?
Dave, give us next time for next guest, and maybe this is how you do it. Give us 3 headlines and then let us guess.
People have said that we should do that, but
We
Gareth,
have done that. We have done that, and it doesn't do anything.
People have said we should do that.
We
Okay,
ignore
all
the
right.
people. But here, read the first headline, Dave, and let's see if this would have helped inform us.
the first one I'm going to read, or the first one that's just here.
It's up to
The
you.
first one, yeah, it's dealer's choice. That's hard for me to say.
Well, let me pick another one then, because that one won't make any sense.
See, this is what it is.
Our exclusive cablegrams
See, it would have helped a little, but it's all like
caught in the act.
for guys like us. Is Cablegram really helping us be like,
No.
aha?
Cablegrams could be from 1887 or 1999. Truly,
Yes, because it could be like a Teddy Grahams like cable thing.
Yeah, it could be a new internet slogan or actual legitimate literal cablegrams.
Yes, but even if I knew what a cablegram was,
still don't.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what. I got nothing.
No, I don't either. I don't know what year that would be.
What is this paper, Dave? Where is this from?
This is March 4th, 1887, the San Francisco Examiner.
Okay, it's a big player. Big player.
And this is a big day. This is a momentous paper because the ownership of the Examiner is the headline. The Examiner, with this issue, has become the exclusive property of William Randolph Hearst, the son of its former proprietor. It will be conducted in the future on the same lines and policies which characterize its career under the control of Senator Hearst.
So this is
the beginning.
No, go ahead.
What a narcissistic way to take over something. The first episode is I'm in charge.
I agree.
I
think it is it's crazy to put yourself on the front page. That is like a page 7 acknowledgement of a changing of the guard, even though it's not.
Exactly. And then like on page 2, it says it's like earthquake rocks town yesterday.
Yes. 1,000 dead in largest tsunami ever. Hearst reached for quote. It is, and it's also I thought Hearst for some reason was older. I thought that was a different era, but it's 1800s is the Hearsts.
I actually thought he was younger, like because I think of Patty Hearst and like in the 60s.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I would have thought like William Randolph Hearst. Now, is this William Randolph Hearst taking over?
Yeah, so this is his first paper and then it slowly becomes an empire.
Yeah, I thought this is his first. Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. This is a good paper.
Yeah, this is a big one.
I mean, dude, those guys were like, the David Zaslav, like these guys were crazy as fuck fighting, running their shit.
Sorry, Brooks. For anyone listening, the thoughts about David Zaslav expressed on behalf of Brooks and Dave did not necessarily reflect the thoughts that Gareth Reynolds has. He's still very open to making some of these deals as the business falls into the soil. Nothing to do with David. What a great guy. Okay, sorry.
I just said I'm just comparing two titans of the industry. That's all I was.
I'm gonna be very careful. I'm very delicate.
I would not be upset if we heard that he was captured in South America by a cartel and set on fire.
So the views expressed by Dave Anthony exclusively on this podcast are those of Dave, towards David Zaslav. Some of us are available and have writing packets ready to send in.
Mm-hmm.
To David Zaslav?
Yeah, I sent him.
Straight to the Z.
Straight to the Z. That's
Zaslav at AOL.com?
Yeah, the pilot is called Straight to the Z. It's about you, David. It's like putting you as the Hearst on the front page. Okay, so what is the news under the Hearst news?
I have a little goss where this is who knows if this is true. I don't know how to not get sued, but it was David Zaslav was screaming at David Stern, or not David Stern, the new commissioner of the NBA.
Yeah.
I can't think of Adam Silver. Adam Silver. He's like, you will never get a better deal than this. And then like 1 minute later, he got a better deal from Mike Lewis.
Right away.
Yeah. He's like, let me call one other person. And they were like, no, that's a bad deal. We'll give you a better deal. You're the NBA. You are one of the things. We have to kind of play ball with you. And that's all alleged.
Yeah, no, that's definitely. And again, the thoughts of Brooks about David Zaslav and the NBA are not expressed, not Gareth's views.
100%. Yeah.
This is the time when they do like 4 headlines stacked on top of each other.
Nice.
A deadly feud. The fierce warfare between Coronado and Leoti, Kansas. Hostilities renewed and a reign of terror begun.
What? It's just a headline?
There's 3 headlines on top. It's headline,
but what does
line,
that
headline,
mean?
line, headline, line.
This is Hatfield McCoy stuff or what?
Yeah, is that towns or is that families?
So, okay. So background on this is that in the West, especially, there was like county seats, like a town wanted to become the county seat, and then they would have all the power for the county. Like the government would be there. And so cities would fight over who would be the county seat. And it would sometimes just be like voting and getting mad at each other. And sometimes it would be literally killing each other.
I like that.
So where I was picked last in my town was the county seat. It was big.
See?
Yeah, like I felt good because I went to school at the county seat.
Yeah, you had all the power, and yet still it didn't help you with the draft.
It's still drafted last. It's still it's
drafted last. I mean, I would have. Don't take this wrong way, but I would have quit. I would have been like, "Man, this isn't my thing."
I did. It wasn't too long after that I did quit.
Retire. It's called retiring.
Is it called retiring if you've never been successful?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I had the opposite. My dad, he was my coach too, and we would be driving to the tryouts, and he'd be like, "Do not do well, strike out, don't catch the ball." And I just didn't like my dad, so I would do awesome.
What was his angle?
He wanted me to not do well, so he could pick me
I got
low.
money on you, tanking.
No, he would. Then he wouldn't have to waste a draft pick on me because I'm his kid. I'm on his team automatically. But if I'm ranked high.
Amazing. So I have this theory. It's not a theory. It's really true about our generation of the dads that we had. Each, like, basically, if they didn't hit their kids, that they were good dads, like 80s, 90s dads. Yeah. They're like, I don't hit him. I'm a good dad because their dads hit. So it just gotten slowly, like, we don't hit anymore. And now, like, I think about it as like if someone asked my dad if he was friends with his kids, he would be like, no, I'm cool. I have my own friends. Versus now dads are friends with their children. But like a 90s dad would be like, I don't talk to him. Like he's just like he's my roommate.
I don't hit him. My work here is done.
Yeah. I coach him at baseball. I give him a false belief and I don't hit him.
I don't hit him. So I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I'm the best dad.
Here's what I'm doing. I don't talk to him much. I gaslight him on the baseball field. Just gaslight the shit out of him.
Speaking of gaslighting, Dave's dad had a fart chair. That's a fun fact. All right, go ahead, Dave. Keep going.
Yeah.
Denver, March 3rd. A Wallace, Kansas special to the news says the situation of the Coronado-Leote War remains unchanged. Both towns are surrounded by a strong cordon of armed men who permit no one to enter.
Wow.
So that's cool.
So they've human-walled themselves off.
Yeah, they
absolutely the plot of Young Guns.
I mean, I think it's similar to what happened in Young Guns is kind of what happened with the county.
They're just trying. Yeah, it's like a bunch of fucking 25-year-olds stopping the steal.
Now let's be honest. If we were to watch Young Guns now. Horrible, right?
Terrible.
No, it's good. I watched it. I watched it recently.
Really?
You did?
It's so good, guys. I watched it last Thanksgiving, and I took my shirt off during it. That's how good it was.
This is the picture you've just painted. It's a phenomenal Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
that is. I just watched
putting on Young Guns and losing your shirt during it. Yeah, these dude, Young Guns.
I was standing up with no shirt on, and my girlfriend was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Everyone's firing on all cylinders right now. This is peak Hollywood."
That's so great.
Everyone is killing it.
It's good to watch an old movie and then when it holds up. I just watched Debbie Does Dallas and halfway through took my pants off.
Yeah,
everyone, and your wife said, "What are you doing?" You said, "Everyone's firing on all cylinders."
But let me ask you this: how come when I watched Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, said the same thing and took my dick out, people left?
Oh, that's weird.
Well, it was in the movie theater.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, that's an interesting point. That is an interesting point. Fair enough.
Okay,
right. Dude, you know what I did recently? You know what can I tell you guys a faux pas that was like a real, a real fuck up that I had to apologize like 20 minutes later in the show about is we were doing the I Think Should Leave tour and they showed this old sketch, and I'm moderating the show, this old sketch where Fred Willard's in it, and this is right after he had died. And I said,
I think I remember this sketch. Yeah.
I said, yeah, it was fun, a funny sketch. At the end, I said, that guy's a pervert, deserved to go. And because he got caught like jerking off in a movie theater recently, like at the time. And
that's right.
The crowd was like, absolutely not, no. And everyone on stage was like, we don't like that. And then they show like 2 more sketches, and I'm fucking reeling from what I had said because I'm just like shook up that I said that. And then like two sketches later, I go, I'm really sorry about what I said about Fred Willard. And the crowd was like, the crowd had turned on me so much. They said, absolutely not. We don't. No, you're not.
Now you're groveling.
Yeah.
Still against you.
You should have
Did
explained
not
it.
fix it. We respect you less now. That you
All right, I stand by
apologize.
it. Brooks, stop talking about Fred Willard.
Yeah, it's
You
exactly
should.
what everyone said.
Yeah, you should have
They were like,
explained it.
move
They're like,
on. Stop
End it,
attacking
stop.
Fred Will. He's awesome.
The reason I said that is because he did a Pee Wee Herman in a theater.
We love
You
him
guys-
too, Brooks.
Yeah, and I'm glad he's dead too.
That's it. Anyone who jacks off should die. Brooks, we think you should leave.
Yeah, that's exactly true. That's what happens. All right, sorry.
Okay,
That's right.
back to the thing.
Okay.
The men in both towns sleep with their guns, and after gaining admission,
Nice.
a stranger finds a Winchester at every turn. So this sounds nice.
That sounds like peak America.
Yep.
Where everywhere you turn, there's a gun.
They stand in doorways, bring their guns to bear on customers, and patrol the streets of the city day and night.
Great.
The county roundabout is as excited as the town and about as equally divided. Coronado sympathizers are, for the most part, in the town with their ammunition and guns, and a Coronado man said today that within an hour, 500 men would be recruited in the town ready to defend it with their lives.
This is Coronado, Kansas?
That's right.
No, I believe it's Coronado. I think they're across the...
Is it
Oh, okay.
I think it's Colorado. I think it's Coronado, Colorado.
Oh, okay,
I
yeah,
might be
no,
wrong.
I think you did say that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
And they've just okay.
At the Leote cry, at Leote, the cry is for revenge. The citizens are as excited as they were on the day following the shooting, and they are unanimous in their determination to attack Coronado at the first opportunity.
They were probably like, well, don't print that part. We just thought we were having a chat with you, dude. And he was like, perfect. Their battle strategy.
This will probably be offered on Thursday next when the county election
That's
occurs.
amazing. Thursday, we're going to attack them. First chance we get. All right. Thanks for the article, boys.
Dudes, I got steamrolled in Gainesville, Florida, college newspaper one time where it was a hit piece. That was not. I had a really nice interview, I thought, and they came after me.
Why?
Wow.
So I had done the year before. I had done, and you should look. It's Gainesville. I'm sure I could find the exact article. The Gator is what it's called. I'd done Gator Growl, which at the University of Florida at their fucking football stadium. I opened for Ludacris and Foster the People, and it went poorly.
Okay.
It went really bad. And
That's
I
so
went
weird.
back.
I would think you would be perfect for Ludacris.
I know. And I went up after Foster the People before Ludacris. So it wasn't like even like I started. It was Foster the People, fireworks, then me doing 30 minutes of stand-up.
I did find the article and the opening is phenomenal. Keep going.
Okay. Oh my God. Great. Okay. So I want you to read this because I don't remember it. I just remember I go back a year later. I'm doing this place called the High Dive, and I'm like, they were like, hey, they want to do an interview with you, and I was like, great, promote the show, cool punk rock show. 17,000 people were at that other one. I hope like 100 people want to come to this after that. And I have this interview, and I explain my point of view on why I thought the show didn't go well and why I'm excited to come back and redeem myself. And then I get to Gainesville, and you have this article. I don't know what it says, but I think the the headline is something about disgraced comedian returns to Gainesville or something.
After a drunk Gator Goal performance, comedian Brooks Wheelan returns to Gainesville. Here's how it starts. I can't get the full article, but here's how it starts. Some may remember Brooks Wheelan as the comedian who performed belligerently drunk at Gator Growl in 2014. With homecoming approaching, some of us may find ourselves looking back to that fateful night 2 years ago when Ludacris and Foster the People were met with a warm reception and Wheelan was booed off the stage. Today he returns to town to perform at the High Dive. I had the opportunity to speak with Wheelan about his experience of his self-proclaimed worst performance ever. Quote, I'm totally going to talk about the Gator Growl at my show at the High Dive, Wheelan said. It's actually part of my routine, the story of my worst performance. I get asked what my worst performance was a lot, and it's easy to say it was the Gator Growl without hesitation. It was so bad.
And dude, this article came out after I had a nice hour-long conversation with a kid, and then he wrote a hit piece on me.
That is total.
My God.
I was
So
dying. I read that
so-
on stage, and I was like, "This motherfucker!"
That is so funny. Oh, shit. That's good stuff.
I was told before that Gator Crowd performance too, the kids who picked me up, they were like, the last two comics fucking ate shit. And I was like, who are the last two comics?
God.
And they said Tracy Morgan and Dane Cook. And I was like, I think that
Oh
those
my
guys are
God.
pretty good. You don't think
Jesus
they're
Christ.
good?
Yeah, fuck. Plus, they already don't like me.
They were so mad, dude.
Oh,
I've never
that's
seen
so
a
fucking
college take homecoming more serious. Kids were tweeting at me, "You ruined our homecoming," and I'm like, "You're in college. What are you fucking talking about?"
Ruined our homecoming. It's so.
So fucking funny.
All right,
Back to the
Okay.
war.
Yeah.
Charlie Coulter and Bill Raines, the ringleaders of the Leote crowd, went over to Coronado on Sunday morning and drank considerable whiskey and beer.
There you go.
Coulter,
Yeah.
who was a desperado of the worst
Soon about to
type,
put on what they would call, quote, the worst performances of their lives.
yeah, these guys are warming up for Gator Growl.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know, the last guys weren't that good at shooting them. Oh, yeah? Who are the last guys? Wyatt Earp and Billy the Kid. I mean, they're pretty good cowboys.
Those are perfect college cowboys. Those guys would rock a college.
They're
Dude,
good
so
shots.
The worst part, too, was I couldn't defend. I was drunk, but I had to be like, I've done stand-up drunker.
Yeah,
and
right.
It didn't go that like that's not a way to get out of that. To be like,
No,
it's
it's not.
been worse.
It wasn't the alcohol. It's so funny.
Dude, the craziest part too of that show, dude, it was so insane because it was $10,000. I got paid $10,000,
Jesus.
and I started yelling, "I'm getting paid $10,000 to bomb."
oh no! Oh my God!
Fred Willard should die. Brooks just doubling down.
A woman came out. It was like they didn't cut my mic. A girl from their school came out, and she touched me and she said, "You can stop." And that's how I got this. 'Cause I contractually was going to hit my time. And then the worst part was the next morning, I fucking go to the airport, get to the airport. I left my check for $10,000 on the hotel stand and realized I cannot ask these people to cut me another check.
Oh my God!
God.
And like missed my flight, drove back and got the check because I was like,
wow.
I'd rather. I
the
can
better
never
play.
ask them. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Hey, you know how I was really drunk at the gig? I actually left my check. Can I get?
Dude, the worst part too is the kids who brought me. I was like, "Hey, can you guys give me a ride home afterwards?" They go, "We really want to stay and watch Ludacris," and I was like, "Okay." And then he killed, and he was so good. And afterwards, Ludacris for real told me, "Hey, man, I thought you were funny," and I was like, "That's you didn't, and that's okay."
Still better than the alternative.
Foster the People dudes, I was drinking on their bus afterwards, and they were like, "Yeah, it was a rough crowd." I'm like, "You have pumped up kicks. Fuck you." Okay, that was really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just kept shouting, "We're getting paid $100,000 during it."
I'm getting paid $10,000 to bomb is maybe the craziest thing I've ever done.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
But I was so mad.
I get it.
yeah, I get it.
Okay. All right, Dave.
Bad guy behavior. Don't do that anymore.
No.
I don't get paid $10,000 anymore.
No.
Yeah, there's that also.
Yeah.
Coulter, who is a desperado of the worst type and who is the fourth in the family in Leote, who died with his boots on, promised to return the beer consumed.
Wow. How is that possible?
He must
Put his fingers down his throat?
Maybe he's going to go get beer and bring
More
beer
beer?
back.
Okay, sure. I like the idea that he's going to throw it up aggressively.
Oh, yeah. Okay. He and Rains returned to Leote, got the beer, and with 5 of his companions, only 3 of whom were armed, returned in a wagon. They visited the druggist, who was sick in his bed, and made him get up. Coulter ordered him to dance and fired his gun at his feet to make him obey.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's poor druggist.
These are the bad guys, I think. Yeah.
That's some shitty stuff.
To be fair, Foster the People had just done pretty well. And they were a little nervous.
The druggist, however, offered to treat if Coulter would lower the gun. The offer was accepted, and the men then went into the street and, according to the story, began firing indiscriminately.
What was the deal?
I think he was like, don't worry about paying for the beer, because I think he was replacing the beer. So he was like, oh, don't worry about it. I got it.
And then
So
they're
they
like, all right, cool, we'll massacre the town. He was like, I don't know if you know how negotiations work. Wait, what?
A Coronado man was struck. A Coronado man was struck in the head with the butt of a gun.
Oh, no.
My brother, my oldest brother, got it was a paintball gun called like a Copperhead when he was like in high school. And he
I remember Copperhead.
He pointed at my brother and said, dance, and started shooting it at his feet. And my brother wouldn't dance, so then my other brother shot him in the face with the paintball gun.
God.
Straight to face. And then my brother's like, what if that hit my eye? And like, my other brother's like, True, I'm so sorry.
That is.
He's just like wouldn't dance, so shot him in the head.
The Young Guns shirt removal makes a little more sense. That tracks a little harder for me now.
Yeah.
Some more context.
A Coronado man was struck over the head with the butt of Coulter's gun. The Loomis brothers interfered and requested the Leote men to stop abusing the citizens. Coulter turned on both the Loomis brothers and struck at them. He performed the old plainsman's trick by
that's one of the best.
That's one of the best. By hitting Bob Loomis over the head and shooting John Loomis in the leg at the same time.
Yeah, the old plainsman, a lot of people aren't using the old plainsman trick. And I think, that laws have changed, but it's a good one where you just hit a guy with the butt of a gun and then shoot his brother in the leg.
Yeah.
The old one, too.
Yeah, the old one, too.
A lot of people will come at you and say, is it a trick? And that's when you pull the trick again. To those people.
Correct.
You also have to think about how crazy and how much you had to be running away from society to have been living in Colorado in 1887. Like, these are crazy people.
Yes, they are definitely the people. Yeah, it definitely tracks with the sort of person who's like, I like it wild. I like a little spice.
Like 80% of the people. 80% of the people know how to hit someone over the head and shoot another guy in the leg at the same time.
Yeah.
It's the same time. That's the move.
That's good. Yeah.
That's amazing.
My joke about Alaska was everyone in Alaska claims they're like, I came up to visit, but I live here because it's so nice. Also, manslaughter in Virginia is why I'm here. Like, I have to be here.
Also, mainland manslaughter.
Yeah, I can't go near Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
That's this whole town.
The Leote crowd then began firing at 2 of the citizens who were running up the street. A dozen Coronado men who had gathered in the store then opened fire, and Coulter seemed to be the target. The firing only continued for a moment, and when the smoke cleared away, Rains, Coulter, and Watkins, who were on the pavement, had fallen to the ground dead. Well, they deserved it.
Not necessarily. I think they're the heroes. I mean, I don't mean to push back, but
really,
I feel like those
Which
guys are.
Which part is the heroic part that they?
When they were going to shoot the druggist a bunch.
Okay, that's fair.
It's
the
like,
guy who's sleeping.
Well, they just wanted him to dance. They were going to shoot him, wanted him to dance.
It's called Save the Cat, Dave.
My favorite part about Save the Cat also is the guy who wrote this book that teaches us how to write movies. Only wrote Blank Check. He only wrote Blank Check.
I think he wrote Legally Blonde too. The first, but I also, it is very funny when he's like, "Look, you want to talk about setting the foundation? When I wrote the Brian Bonsall classic Blank Check about an 11-year-old who gets a blank check and then bangs Duff the VJ, who's a grown woman as 11." Let me walk you through story, idiots.
Yeah, no, when I found that out, it was hilarious. All right.
There he goes.
Brooks left the podcast, just for those of you listening.
No. I'm charging my phone. I'm charging my computer.
It all makes sense once you think about it.
Yeah, charging the computer.
The other men who were in the wagon, James Dudding and Johnson, were seriously wounded, and the seventh man escaped without injury.
Okay.
The dead men were permitted to lie in the street until midnight.
Oh, that's nice of them.
There were 14 bullets.
Do you guys have a permit?
Body.
Let them go. That's fine.
Let them just hang.
Let them hang out. They seem chill.
There were 14 bullets in Coulter's body. That's a lot.
Jesus.
That's a lot.
Plenty.
That's a lot for not an AR-15. Like that is
very
not
true.
Automatic weapons.
Go ahead, say it.
They had to reload.
Yeah.
Like that's not just like a spray.
They just were very careful. They're like, I'm pretty sure he's dead. He's like, I'll just do another round.
That's reloading twice. Because
that's twice. That's two reloads and a couple extras.
Can you imagine killing someone, reloading, continuing to kill them, and then being like, I need another reload? Like that's so fucking crazy.
And not being a cop.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's where he would just be like, trust me, it's going to get funny again. That's how this comedy stuff works. They're going to think it's awful at 9. At 12, they'll be giggling again. And at 14, it's going to be fucking hysterical. That's when we close.
It's called not just the, what was the other move? This joke doesn't work anymore because I already fucked it up.
The plainsman.
Plainsman.
It's not just the plainsman. This is the Family Guy. You just keep hitting them with it.
Yep.
This is a little Family Guy.
I said this joke wouldn't work, and it didn't.
Trust me, when I wrote Blank Check, we knew that we had to fill the bad guy with 15 bullets. That was the magic number.
14 bullets is so many bullets.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of bullets. So Johnson, who was the least injured and not dead as reported, said he and his companions went to Coronado at the invitation of some friends. They were having a little fun in the street.
Sure.
Probably fired a few shots, but harmed no one.
Right.
He acknowledged that they had been drinking, but were not drunk.
That's the Gator growl.
I mean, they went on a reverse beer run. They were hammered.
They called it the Gator Growl. That's so funny.
The halfway stage, which connects with the conveyance from Leote and Coronado, left Wallace this morning, taking the first mail received there since last Saturday. It appears from the intelligence at hand that 2 Leote men who were not engaged in the trouble Sunday left this town and started for Coronado. The outpost of Coronado opened fire on them at once. One of the men was shot and the other's hat riddled with bullets. The horse of one man was killed.
We got to take him out and his buddy's hat.
And the horse.
And the fucking horse.
The 2 men returned to Leote and told the story, and then great excitement followed, and a party was organized to visit Coronado, but they turned around before reaching. The report is confirmed that a general fight may occur there at any moment, although it is probable that the sides may wait until Thursday next when the election occurs.
Well, there we go.
This is like, it's...
I remember watching the movie Braveheart. It's great. I watched the movie Braveheart when I was like 10, and I asked my dad, did they really kill those horses? And he goes, yeah, they really killed the horses. And it made me cry really hard. I'm like, look, man, I don't fucking know how movies work. Did they kill those fucking horses?
That's so good.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
Brooks, you're the worst baseball player in the town, and quite frankly, I don't think academia is going to be a strength. The horses died, Brooks.
Yeah. It's like, they did? And he's like, yeah, they stabbed him with those poles. You fucking
They also
idiot.
took out Mel Gibson's guts.
Yeah. And no, yeah, you're a good baseball player too. Yeah.
He wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
To be mad that his son might think they kill horses for movies. What the fuck am I doing that this kid thinks they kill horses?
He's so mad at you. That's very easy to just be like, oh no, of course not, buddy. No, they do a whole bunch of. He's like, my son's an idiot. Yeah, they're dead, dummy.
Dave, dumbest thing one of your kids has ever said that they were sincere about.
The Boston Globe has been informed that a man recently died in San Francisco who was never known to smile. The informant is correct. The man was a teetotaler.
A teetotaler?
Doesn't drink.
Oh.
Wait, so that's a joke?
Brow. Yeah. Is it?
I think he's just taking a dig at people who don't drink.
Yeah. The man who never smiles doesn't drink.
Is that what it is? That makes sense. I definitely get a little happier after a couple pops. I'm more fun to be around. Shut up, Dave.
I don't know if I'm more fun to be around. I know I'm more right.
That's good.
Yeah. I will be much more positive in my opinions.
Shirt off at Thanksgiving while watching Young Guns. I've never been more right. Look how correct I'm being.
This is cinema. This is art.
This is a peak.
There's a story going the rounds that a Kentuckian applied for the Russian mission and, as descriptive of his character, urged the preposterous proposition that he never drank whiskey nor used tobacco. The entire Kentucky delegation in Congress rose up as one man, protesting that the fellow was a fraud.
That is an exceptional era when if you claim you haven't gotten drunk or smoked cigarettes or pipe tobacco, that you are considered a unicorn.
Yeah, totally.
Is that also, that's what that's saying, right?
Yeah, and that that no one believes. Yeah, no one believes.
No one buys your bullshit.
No way,
sure.
Yeah. And what is this news story? How is this news?
That is also a great question.
That I don't know.
Why is it
we just had a whole long article about a town's fighting, and now it's like.
But the town fighting makes sense. William Randolph Hearst taking over a newspaper, that is news. This guy who doesn't drink and sucks, like what do we need to know about?
You did editorialize that he sucks, by the way.
It said he never smiled.
Yeah.
Fair.
That's a guy who sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It is, but that's what happens in these a lot of times. It's like at many times in these old papers, you'll be like, why is that in here?
Yeah.
What is happening right now? Like, it was almost just like a way for a guy to piece a puzzle together more than it was to make a bunch of news.
You know
but
what?
Also, it's no different. It's no different than the squirrel water skiing thing.
No, my best friend, when we were in college, we went to the University of Iowa and we would watch KWWL News, which was Channel 9 or something. No, that was Channel 7. But we would watch the news in our town of Iowa City, and we would cackle yelling, they think this is news. Because they would just be like, shit that doesn't matter. And he's like, this is newsworthy here. Look how sad our town is.
It is. The local news is the best. Whenever I'll go, wherever I go to do a show, a lot of times I will watch the local news and be like, what are they talking about?
No, it's amazing. There's nothing better than the local news. I remember when I moved to Kansas City, I put on the local news, and I'm from Iowa, and the first news story was a local baby stabbed, and I was like, "This is different news. It's real news. This is newsworthy." How did that happen?
Did they say what the baby did?
It's true.
Well, the baby was running a convenience store, and
There you go.
should have given up.
robbed. Yeah, they do. Babies don't understand how robberies work.
Right.
No,
Their brains
They
are
do
too
now.
little.
no, but like one
Stabbing a
time
baby is bold.
we saw. So this guy Bruce Downey was the head of the news in my hometown, and
Great
we
way
saw
of
him
putting it.
we saw him at a Hy-Vee one time, which is a grocery store.
Yeah,
And
I
my
love Hy-Vee.
buddy goes, he screams in the middle of Hy-Vee, "Look, everyone, Bruce Downey shops at Hy-Vee just like the rest of us."
That guy was like, Jesus Christ. Put the magnums back.
He put his head down, and everyone started being like, "Bruce Downey's here, Bruce Downey's here." And then I was the hardest I've ever laughed.
Guy.
Shout out to Bruce Downey.
Good for him.
The Tsar of Russia is reported to have visited Paris recently in disguise.
What?
He came.
That's
says
what you
rumor, to
open. That's you say that when you have us
It's
guess
a
what
great
year.
opener.
That is an 1887 fucking headline.
Yeah, it is. Totally is. He came, says rumor, to confer with President Grevy on the situation in Europe, and he was accompanied by 2 attendants and a large dog.
The dog also in disguise as a panther.
Can you imagine going in disguise with your security and your dog?
Then no one can know that I am important. So I'll just bring entire security team and we'll bring all luggage, dog that's very recognizable. Usual. What will you wear? Regular outfit, I think. But if anyone else, I'll say I am James Smith or Smithercorn or something. I work at a steel mill. I make big steel things for people.
Nobody knows just what connection the dog could have had with the situation in Europe.
I gotta guess. None? What?
None.
What are they
It's just-
talking about?
You
We
know,
think
Josh-
the dog is really the czar.
It's a working dog. It's not. Some dogs are there to be your pet, and other dogs are there for a job.
What's the dog doing?
No,
As the Tsar's mission was secret, it seems indiscreet in him to have had a talebearer in his company.
So he had a guy. When you say talebearer, my fear is that. Oh, okay. All right. I thought it was an additional.
No, it's
role.
just the dog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
By
this
the way,
story, this story is pretty much Russian Tsar dresses up in disguise, goes to Paris. We really want to talk about his dog for a little bit now.
Yep. The talebearer. Yep.
That's right.
Yep. Just like anything else, they always go. They're like, but also the dog, the talebearer. that article could have been so much more interesting.
That's
But
what I'm
instead,
saying.
they just bail and were like, man, he had a dog. Anyway,
It's like 1887 TMZ of like, guess what the dog was wearing?
yeah,
Like, that's not the news story. What are you doing?
yeah. It could have been like they discussed war, but let's get into the talebearer.
Why is he fucking in disguise visiting Paris?
It's crazy. It's
I
a
don't know.
fair ask.
Maybe he just doesn't want to be bothered, or he's some kind of enemy situation.
It's
Well,
strange.
we don't know. We just know that the dog's there. And the
It's
dog
true.
might have something
Won't
to do.
know.
Dog matters. Chinese pork.
Finally.
This is going
A
to
man
be
named-
this isn't going to be racist at all.
I will say, buckle up. It could get bad here.
San Francisco 1880s Chinese pork news.
Jesus
Not
Christ.
yet, it's not good.
It's racist bingo.
A man named Patrick Hogan was seen walking along 9th Street in a suspicious manner last evening and having under each arm a ham and a shoulder of bacon.
That's a fucking baller.
You know what I'm realizing right now is San Francisco in 1887 was Cedar Rapids, Iowa in 2005. This is the same amount of not news. It's just a fucking hillbilly town that they have to have news for.
And pork carrying. Probably pretty close to the amount of pork an average citizen would be like, hey, it's Saturday. I got shoulder.
Officer Norton accosted him, and as the man could not give a satisfactory account as to how he obtained the meat, he was arrested and taken to the Southern Station.
How do you not have your meat alibi ready?
It's like when you bring cash to the airport, and they're like, "How'd you get all this cash?" And then they take it. But in this time, it's meat.
But how do you not prep a lie?
But also, this is how you get a DUI. Like hindsight is 2020. This is like an early DUI. You stole some meat, you got asked why, and you fucking panicked.
Yeah, no, you really, did not have. I mean, it's so easy to come. And in 1887, to not be able to come, like literally be like, I found a pig and cut it. They'd be like, that's pretty good. All right, sir, on you go. But he was like,
He probably, we all know cops, so the cop goes up and he asks, and he's probably like, I bought it to have at home, and I'm going to feed my family. And he's
come
like,
with us, sir.
Come on, and then arrested him.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I could also see, I could see them being like, "Can we sniff the pork?" No. Well, now we have probable cause, so we have to sniff the pork.
When do you think cops have always sucked, or when did they start? Do you know what I mean? Do you hear what I'm saying? Like,
always
like a
sucked.
1700s cop, like bad.
No, because there's two kinds of cops in America, so they started in two different ways. The first way was in the South to capture slaves.
Not a great start for listeners who are new to the show.
Good guys.
The other way,
yeah,
good guys. The other way was up in the Northeast to protect property.
Okay. All right.
Well, and both still seem to exist pretty strongly, I'd say. That's what it honestly should say on the side of the cards, that to protect and serve, to protect the property of the rich. Okay, it's a little more honest. Do the rebrand.
We should start stenciling that on cop cars.
Oh my, yeah, good luck there. Good night.
I went on a few dates with this girl who's really cool, and met her dad, who was a LAPD cop for 40 years, and it is shaking the foundation of my ideas that cop, because I like this guy, and it's so confusing. But if you saw him on the street, you'd be like, "Oh my god!"
It is.
Look, I'm just saying, it's the first cop I've had real nice, and I'm not defending police. But it is
cops.
Crazy that this guy's cool.
I've known cops and I've liked cops, but then I also know that like a buddy of mine that I went to school with when I was a kid grew up and became a cop, and I was like, well, Mark's got to be a good guy. And then I heard he broke someone's arm for no reason. And
but they were resisting. I already know they were resisting. I did a show the other night, and there was a sheriff in the audience. And when I started talking about stealing from the electronic, like he was just there to see the show. And then I started talking about stealing from the electronic checkout and how everyone should do that. And he started clapping so loudly. I was like, sir, are you a fantastic sheriff? I was like, this is great news.
I mean, dude, I have so many, this dude was a cop in the LAPD from the 80s through the 90s. And I was like, exactly. I was like, he's filling me in on like what the fucking riots were like from his point of view. And I'm like, this is fascinating. Yeah. He's like, yeah. I was like, what about the OJ case? He's like, Mark Furman, that guy, I knew him. He's just like, he thought he was too cool. And I'm like, this is insane that you know this shit.
Rodney King was a white guy, Brooks. Wait, what? Now, how'd you get all that ham?
Murphy's Wake.
Finally.
This is out of Chicago. A well-known steamboat mate, Charles Murphy, who died at the Marine Hospital yesterday, was given a somewhat remarkable wake last night. Murphy's relatives are said to be very wealthy and live in San Francisco. In their absence, a self-appointed committee of the dead man's river acquaintances took charge of the remains.
River acquaintances
is
just
awesome. Not good.
I love river acquaintances.
Yeah. River Acquaintances is a pretty good name for a band.
Yeah,
I
it
heard
is.
you open for River Acquaintances, and it didn't go great.
Well, that's not my fault. The River Acquaintances fan base is mean.
Yeah. The body was properly laid out in an undertaker's shop with a great number of Murphy's old friends made their way to the place.
Weird.
Early in the evening.
We're going to go
a
get drunk with Murphy, who died.
Well, early in the evening, a supply of stimulants to keep the mourners awake during a long vigil.
All right, so we're going to go down to the Undertaker's, do some blow off of Murphy, and just keep eulogizing him until it makes sense. Stimulants to keep him up for the Murphy wake.
A keg of beer was tapped.
All right, so we're going to fucking do keg stands and key bumps until Murphy comes back to life.
That's a pretty drunk, coked up move to be like, we gotta make sure he's really dead, man. We gotta hang out.
Just around him.
We just gotta
cutting
stay
lines
here.
on him.
What if he's alive, man?
Look, I'll tell you. Here's my favorite Murphy story, and then I'll tell you mine. All right, cool. All right.
As the small hours advanced, one of the watchers who had partaken freely stumbled against the coffin supports. That end of the coffin fell from its stand to the floor.
He's alive!
And emptied out the corpse.
Oh, fuck me. Oh,
overturning
my God.
a table and shaking down 7 lighted candles onto the dead man's face.
Onto his face? So they fucking did key bumps and keg stands until they knocked Murphy's casket over. Murphy falls, drops out, then a bunch of shit falls on him, including hot lit candles that go to his head.
This is like what happens to O.J. Simpson in Naked Gun. It's like, what is happening?
That's what your LAPD insider tells you. He's like, that was actually real life LAPD stuff when O.J. was playing Norbert.
Can you imagine getting so hammered at your buddy's funeral that you knock him off and then spill on him?
The level of party, it's beyond. That's over. You can't go back.
No.
Ever.
You know when they did it, they were like, Murphy's back at it. Look at him go.
Hey, look, his head's a candle.
A scene of the wildest excitement ensued, which increased when it was discovered that the clothing of the corpse was blazing at a cremation and conflagration.
So they are now suggesting that they are going to lean in and let this be the cremation?
I guess. I mean, he's on fire.
I'm aware.
The mourners were equal to the emergency, and after a great confusion, put out the fire and righted the corpse and the coffin.
Jesus Christ. So they let him burn for a while.
Affairs quietly.
Do you know about how they burned Graham Parsons? Do you guys know about that story?
No.
What?
Oh, you should look this up. This is a solid story. Graham Parsons, he said he wanted to be cremated, and he OD'd in Joshua Tree. This is in the 70s. His
manager
and his buddies, other famous musicians, abduct his body from LAX, drive it back to Joshua Tree, fill his casket with gas, and light him on fire. Fucking insane.
Wow.
This is the 70s.
That's total 70s, though.
Yeah, and then in interviews, they're like, "Yeah, we were pretty coked up."
The problem with cocaine is just doesn't feel right. We shouldn't is not something you like saying.
Graham would have wanted gas all over him, even though his parents were like, "We'd like his body, we want to bury him," and they were like, "Nah, that's lame."
We should have talked a little more yesterday about the idea you had in mind, because you guys sounded pretty vague, so we riffed it pretty hard out there.
We did a desert Viking thing.
Yeah. Look, I'll be honest, your plans sound lovely, but Graham's body is no longer around. What you're pitching is simply not an option, man.
We could bury the idea that you...
How about this? You just give us that idea to casket and we'll bury it, because that's the closest you're going to have to grieving over something real. Graham is no longer human.
Affairs gradually quieted down to such an extent that a number of the wakers fell asleep, many dropping out of their chairs on the floor.
What the fuck? Who? That is, these all independently could work at a wake, but together to have people falling asleep while Murphy was just on fire.
I mean, you sound like a guy who doesn't like to party.
When they say stimulants, are they talking about Coke?
I don't think so. Probably something else.
Okay.
Interesting. Although they could be. I mean, they had Coke then, I think. I think they had cocaine.
But that's when they were just like,
maybe.
Coke's for surgery, dumbass. Don't abuse it.
Then came the climax of the occasion.
I'm finishing.
Coffins were brought out of the warerooms, and one sleeper after another put into them until there were 17 men in coffins when daylight broke.
This isn't real. They started sleeping in coffins?
Yeah,
17 of them passed out in coffins.
They passed out, and so then people picked them up and put them in coffins as a prank. This is what you do.
This is insane. But I'm glad that William Randolph Hearst is maintaining the legacy of this newspaper.
Yeah, by the way, Hearst first one was like, we need a banger. Do you understand me? We're going
this has to be, like, I'm thinking, like, this has to be lies. There's no way this fucking will happen.
Hearst did start yellow journalism a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way.
But that's why he put, like, before it, he was like, a man was arrested for too much pork. Also, get ready for something.
This article's headline should be "Buckle Up."
Yeah, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, I've never. This is the most insane. Like in the history of the world, this is the craziest thing I've heard about a death. Where everyone got fucked up, dropped the body, spilled on it, then kept drinking and passed out off chairs, so they slept in coffins. Like,
that's right.
What is this? This is fucking
right.
Vampire stuff? These are what vampires do.
Not a man of them, however, failed to straighten up enough to join the concourse that followed the body to the grave in the afternoon. So they were so fucking passed out that they didn't make it to the funeral, the actual funeral.
I think we're all saying the same thing, which is that they sound like pretty good friends.
Yeah.
We'd all be lucky to have guys like that at our thing. The pallbearers died. Unfortunately, the pallbearers are in those caskets.
There's a lot of caskets now. We need a lot of guys now to carry.
I was late to my grandpa's funeral, which is what you do, and I got there and I had no idea I was a pallbearer at all.
Oh my god!
So like, carry him. I go, what? Someone should have told me. I wouldn't have been late. I didn't mean to be late, but I would have been less late. I would have definitely been on time.
Should we try 5? It's a lot of weight on our side. I don't know. Where's Brooks? He's in Gainesville.
So then we bury. So this is in Jefferson City, Missouri. We bury him, and we're at the grave, and stone's throw away. I'd say 50 feet is a big old Confederate memorial. And I'm like, on the other side, is that a Union memorial? Since this is like a state where you could pick, and it wasn't. And so I was the only guy at the funeral being like, I don't think he'd want to be buried here. The guy was pretty Union. Like,
quiet, Brooks. We talked about this before you showed up. If you want to talk about Grandpa being near Confederate flags, get out here on time.
I was so pissed. He doesn't like this. He's a good guy.
He was a closet Confederate.
No.
Well, no, he wasn't, of course not. Well, Brooks, thank you for joining us. That was a wild ride. And what I like about your episode is that we read a headline about you, and it was top 2 craziest. That's a first for this show. So appreciate it. People go follow you at Brooks Wheelan. Keep an eye out for your Wild Alaska special. Yeah. And thank you for joining us.
No, you guys are the best. I really appreciate it. This
Thanks,
is a
Brooks.
fun show. I think you're good guys, but for different reasons. Both good reasons.
my honey some of these days.
Hey, dollheads, this is Gareth, the leader of the Gare Force. Listen, some shows. Go to GarethReynolds.com. See me do stand-up. September 18th, San Diego, California. Bakersfield, September 20th. Manchester, Connecticut, September 24th. Albany, New York, September 25th. Syracuse, New York, September 26th. I'll be in Ontario, California, October 2nd. Tempe, Arizona, October 3rd. Portland, Oregon, November 1st, November 2nd, November 3rd. November 4th, I'll be in Eugene, Oregon. Bend, Oregon, November 5th. Seattle, November 6th. That show's definitely going to sell out. November 7th, I'll be in Vancouver. And then December 31st, New Year's Eve, 2 shows, Cap City Comedy in Austin, Texas. Go to GarethReynolds.com for tickets and information. Plus, if you go on that website, you win a big prize. So book tickets for a big prize.